Have you noticed how there's more and more news on at the moment and how the stories are much, much bigger lately? If so, I just want to bring your awareness up to actually how that can trigger you to feel more anxious. I'm not asking you to stop watching the news, but I've got some suggestions in actually how you can really control how you're feeling with what and where you're getting your news intake from, just to make sure that we're in more control with our mental health than we realise. When it comes to feeling stressed, which might be from the news, what actually happens with our body in simple terms is it triggers us to produce more cortisol. Now, cortisol within our bodies, that hormone, is actually a stress hormone. It's not a comfortable feeling, but technically, taking it back years and years and years back to the caveman days, we were only meant to experience that level of stress for such a short period of time. However, what happens with the news is that we'll watch it, we'll feel on edge, we'll feel anxious, we'll feel worried. But then what will happen is that we'll then allow ourselves to try and calm down, but then we'll get triggered by maybe going onto a different social media site. It might be listening to it with your friends or hearing about your family talking about it. Therefore, we're triggered a lot, all based around the news. And actually, that can leave you feeling really uncomfortable. Now, there are benefits of watching the news, and with that, the benefits might be that it allows you to gain a clearer perspective of what's going on in the world. It might be that it can develop your ability to empathise in a sense where it can really allow you to understand how it may be for other people. And it can also empower us to make a difference, even in the way that we live our lives. However, there are many, many negative impacts that the news can have on us, but it depends on so many different things. However, what it can do is it can make you feel as if, for some of the stories that you hear, if you're on edge, it might make you feel angry or resentment or helpless or hopeless even. So it's just about kind of gathering that balance for you in your life. For some people, they've got this ability to listen to the news and take it on board and to take what they want. You know, they're listening to all these different opinions. The news used to be on just between certain hours. It used to be for a certain period of time, maybe 10 minutes every hour. But now it's 24/7. So it's just about recognising actually what it is for you and actually what do you want to get from the news. When you're watching it, my question to you would be, what do you want to get from it? So here's 5 top tips in how you can really learn to manage that news anxiety. Now, my first one is to always watch the news or listen to the news from a reliable source. Please do not do what my husband does. My husband thinks that by going on social media and looking through other people's opinions, videos and things like that, that he feels that he's actually getting the news. That's not the news. That's different people's opinions. And whilst I love people's opinions, everybody feels that their opinion is the right opinion and can sometimes influence you and your opinion. So find those global news channels that are really reliable. My next one is to limit your news intake. If you know that it's going to make you feel overwhelmed, if you know that it's going to be uncomfortable for you, then I'd question, do you actually really need to watch it? Or at least allow yourself to just have a certain period of time when you're watching it, even if it's just the headlines. My next one is, the news used to be for just straightforward exactly what's going on in the world. Nowadays it actually is full for, it's there to entertain, and it's full of different people's opinions and advice, when actually sometimes it can hinder what we think or what our beliefs are. So it's just about recognising that the news isn't always just about the news. It's also to entertain people as well. And there's some fantastic journalists out there, but you just watch the way that they use their tone of voice or their body language. It could be what they're wearing, their makeup, you know, and how they try and with that dun dun dun. Literally, just pay attention. They're very, very clever journalists and news presenters, but they are there to keep you watching. So just be aware of that. My next top tip is, I need us to, hard one, try and avoid dwelling about what's going on. Now, it's very easy to think of the things that we can't do and to think of all of the bad things, but actually it's about recognising that we can't do anything to change that situation. If we could, we would. So it's about kind of finding a sense of peace and love, and being able to, when you are thinking about certain parts of the world or certain people, it's just about just sending them your love, okay? Because it's through getting through times like this that can be really tricky. But what you're trying to do is you're trying to control things. And just to let you know, it's not possible. So it's just about being careful with that. Therefore, it's about redirecting your energy into things that you can change. So let me give you an example. You know, you might be watching the news today and you might be feeling really sad, but actually what can you do to make a difference in the world today? Okay, you can go and recycle, or you can go and litter pick, or you can go and ask and check in on a friend that you've not spoken to for a while. So just see, what you can't do is you can't change what's happening with world affairs. You can't change that, but actually think about what is it that you can do to make a difference, to make a world a better place. And there are things out there, sometimes you just have to go a little bit smaller. And my last step, my last top tip is I want you to stay active, and I want you to stay socially connected with people. When there is so much going on in the world, it's so easy to just stay almost fixated on it and trying to feed that need to know more, that feed to kind of recognise exactly what's going on. But actually, it's always going on. There's always news that needs to be recorded. So for me, what I'd be asking you to do is to make sure that you're staying active, that you're going out, that you're connecting with your friends and your family, and you're feeling less lonely in the world. Because otherwise, news can consume you. And the thing is, just like with your social media feed, you're never going to get through it all, because guess what? With news nowadays, it's 24/7. So anyway, look after yourself, okay? Stay awesome, and I'll see you soon. Bye guys, bye.